Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop version 1.7.229132764 R1. Finished with racing. I've finally come down from the buzz from racing on Saturday, and I've had a lot of fun talking with friends and stuff online and in person about how much fun it was to race in the Ultima 600. Definitely going back there again. My watch is giving me notifications that people are talking to me. Um, if you get the chance, I highly recommend it. All the events at the Freedom Factory are actually very fun, and they have a great staff, and parking's free and all that stuff. So, excuse me, little rock star burp there. Hang on. Definitely didn't want to do that on camera. Yeah. Once again, I got to go looking for these. I have to hunt for them. I can't find them locally. So, tons and tons of fun. And I had some friends in town from Ohio, Carrie and Joe. They came down for 5 or 6 days. They had a great time at the beach. They came and cheered me on at the race, and we had a ton of fun. We had a really nice time. They bought dinner last night, and it was really nice of them. And they took off. I dropped them off at the airport earlier. They had a really nice time. Unfortunately, they're going back to the frozen tundra of Ohio. It is going to be extremely unpleasant there this week. The good news, my friend Chris is coming to Daytona with us this weekend. I found out yesterday or day before, and I'm super, super excited about that. That is 2,748% of what he needs, and I'm so happy. It's a big deal for him, and I'm so glad he's coming down. That's going to be fantastic. He is getting out of the tundra, out of I think it was somewhere between 8 and 10 inches of snow they were going to get on Saturday versus where we're going to be at in Daytona is going to be 85 degrees. So this is a perfect mental break, and it's going to be really nice for Chris, really nice for us. We have a great group of guys that are going, and one of the things and that's why I'm coming to you guys tonight, and why it looks a little different in the shop. Normally the Viper's over there and the Miata's over here, but what I'm doing is I'm prepping the Viper for the Haggerty Black Tie event that they have on Thursday. I was invited to that. They asked me to bring up the car. So the car is going to be on display, and the car's a little grimy from holiday parties and stuff with the Viper folks. So I'm going to get it cleaned up and looking very spiffy. And then the car will be trailered up to Daytona, and we're going to go to the party on Thursday night. It's an invite only black tie thing, but then I will be at Daytona at the race. I'll be there Friday, Saturday through the night, obviously into Sunday. So if you guys want to hook up, shoot me a message. I'm super easy to get in touch with. If you're going to the race, let me know. There are a ton of amazing cars in the race. There are a ton of really great teams. So if you can watch it on, if you can't get to the event and actually be there, you can watch it on NBC. They'll be doing break-in. They'll be cutting in programming for an hour or two at a time. But you can watch the entire thing on Peacock. They'll live stream the entire event, all 24 hours. And look for one of the commentators. His name is Brian Till. He is fantastic, very smart, incredible driver, and one of my favorite instructors ever. So, who's here? Hey, Liz. So yeah, check out Peacock and check out NBC. Brian's been commentating for them for a couple of decades. He's that good. He's very good with the drivers. He's very good with the cars. He's very good. He knows that track very well. Super, super nice guy, and very, very, very informative, and faster than me. So if you want to see someone who's quicker than me, that's Brian Till. Promise. He'd be quicker than me in the Miata than me in this. So there you go. That's how quick he is. Daytona is very, very fun. It is, like I said, it's a 24-hour race. So a lot of the teams, they're going to get there early, and they have to prep and get set up and do all the pictures and all the media stuff. So they're technically going to go longer than 24 hours. They usually go somewhere between 30 and 32 hours straight with no sleep. And it's very grueling and very demanding. On the drivers, it's very hard. On the crews, it's very hard. On the team owners, it is not very hard. they, the airport, Daytona Airport, is right next to Daytona Speedway. So for team owners, they fly in on their G5, walk off the plane, and then they walk across the tarmac over to the track into their luxury box, right? For the drivers, they are in the paddock and they are sitting in fold out chairs and trying to stay awake and doing data acquisition and stuff like that. So it's a lot harder on the crews than it is on the team owners, but it is a lot of fun. And there's a lot of celebrities there too, which is cool. You'll just be walking through the paddock or going over to, the other side of the manufacturer's display, and there's, some movie star or some TV personality or whatever. It's kind of interesting. It's a lot of fun. And this goes on throughout the night. So the race starts at 1:40 in the afternoon, and it goes in on Saturday afternoon, and it goes until Sunday at 1:40. So if you want to, watch the race, that would be cool. Don't know where the Viper is going to be. It might be in the infield. It might be at the hotel parking lot. Haven't figured that part out yet. I'll know more later on. But I promise the Viper will look really good. Just as some notes on cleaning the Viper and the stuff that I use. Again, I'm not getting paid a single dime. I haven't been given any free product for any of this. The only reason I've mentioned products or tools or whatever to you guys is because I've tried them out and they work for me. And so I want to pass along what's been successful for me and what has worked. If something has failed, you watch me put it in the trash. If it hasn't worked for me, I probably won't mention it. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just that it doesn't work for me. It might work for you. But all of the stuff that I use to clean all of my vehicles is Jack's Wax. And that goes from the wheel cleaner that's really kick-ass. I'll show you guys the wheel cleaner. This stuff is great. It smells awful. And I don't know why I just optioned to show it to you, because it smells really bad. But you do this outside. Don't use this stuff inside. And you can see how much I have left. I'm almost empty. I got to reorder. So this is the wheel cleaner. And it, like I said, it smells terrible, but it does an amazing job cleaning the wheels. You spray it on, wait until it turns purple, and then spray it off. And use a power washer, and it'll take all of the crap off your wheels. If you're really good, which I'll probably do, I'll do a wheels off. I'll pull the wheels, take it all off, give a couple of brush strokes around there with that wheel cleaner, and then power wash everything. And that'll give me super clean wheels. For car care, any of the Jack's Wax soaps work great. And then for detailing, I really like the Hawaiian Shine. And they have another one, and I forgot the name of it. I don't remember if I have it here. It might still be back in Ohio. I think it's still back in Ohio. Let me look. Here's my cleaning stuff. No, that was a different brand. That's a polish. Anyway, here's, I'll just show you some of the other stuff since I have it. They do special events, and then they do special packages for the events. So this was Street Madness a couple of years ago, and this is just some detail spray for the event. They still have a little bit left, so try and use this stuff. This works great on the Miata for some reason. They have streak-free glass cleaner. I like this stuff, but, and this is so weird, the best stuff I've used, and here's the other stuff I have from Jack's Wax. I'll just show you my glass cleaner. This is the Body Shine from Jack's Wax. That's actually really good, and that's probably what I'll finish up with on this car. So you know what? I'm just going to leave this out because I'll be using it. The glass cleaner that I really like, and I've used for a couple of decades cleaning stuff, and it's so funny because this stuff is so basic. It's really cheap. You can get it pretty much anywhere. It's Sprayway glass cleaner. And I've used this stuff forever and ever and ever and ever. And if you don't want to take a whole can with you, that's why I have the Jax Wax one. I'll take the Jax Wax somewhere. If I lose it, it's okay. I can get a replacement. Same thing with this. It's just one of those. There's no ammonia in it. It's super simple and it's stupid cheap. It's like $2 a can, and the can will last you, months. So I like this stuff for glass cleaner, for paint protection, polish, all that stuff. I use all the Jax Wax stuff. The Hawaiian Shine Quick Detailer smells really good. So if you're at an event and you want people to smell your car, which is absolutely weird, you do that. They have engine cleaning products. They have a bunch of other stuff. So check out Jax Wax. All that stuff has worked for me. And if it doesn't work for you, that's cool. There's 100 other ones, but that's the stuff I use, and it's definitely worth a try. It's maybe a little bit cheaper than the super big name brands, but not too worried about it as long as it keeps my car looking nice. That's the big thing. And I have let's see, how many black cars do I have? I guess I just have two. I have two black cars and a gray truck. And keeping black clean is very difficult. My friend Roy said black is a young man's game, because by the time you've finished with the left side, the right side is dirty. And you have to keep going back and forth and back and forth, and it's tough. So keeping black clean, especially single stage paint like the Miata, it's very hard to keep that clean. And with as many miles as I put on these cars, they're difficult to keep clean. Jax Wax stuff keeps up on it, no problem, no problem at all. Very simple, no weird chemicals or paint peeling or anything like that. I'm very happy with their stuff. They're based out of Columbus, Ohio, obviously, and you can order the stuff and they'll ship it to you. So if you want, give it a shot. If you find it locally, that's cool. They have shops all over the country, in Vegas and Nashville and all this other stuff. So they're worth the checkout, even if it's just for a quick detail spray. Yeah. But yeah, the Viper's had some miles on it. So over the next 24 hours, you guys can see it now. I wanted to do it before. So this is a before, and then I'll do an after, and you guys can tell me, if it looks good. I'll put the camera in the same spot and everything. Joe and Carrie were driving around in the Miata the last few days, and it actually is super clean. They went to the beach. They went, drove it all around town. They went to like 6 different beaches. So Miata's actually in pretty good shape. It'll also probably get a wipe down too, get it out of the sun. And oh, sorry, I do have a 3 black car. I have Medusa. I have the new Altima race car. So I didn't really. I think I wiped that down when I first got it, but I haven't done anything since. So it's in the spare lot that I have, and it's under a cover, and it's happy for now. I forgot I had the 3rd black car. So we'll see how it does on a brutally abused Nissan 2008 Nissan Altima. But I want to do a before picture and an after picture, just so you guys know how nice the Viper can look. And I also just remembered that I have the car cover in here. Oh, of course, it's in the Viper. This is one of my favorites. It's called Hawaiian Shine, and this stuff is great. And you can tell I have a big jug in Ohio, but I've used about half the bottle, a little bit more. So we'll keep this guy out too. But yeah, car cover for the Miata has to come out, and I just need a temporary spot for him right now. Everything else stays in there, boost box, all that other stuff. Carpet will get vacuumed. Everything will get cleaned out in the interior, and I don't think I have anything else weird. Nope, just the Easy Pass thing. My watch is telling me to take a moment. Of course that's locked. Of course. I don't know. I got to turn off that auto lock thing. I don't remember how to do that. And you don't hear it because it's an electric thing. It's an electric lock on the car and electric door handles. We will tuck away the phone charger, and we will also pull out the 6-point harnesses, because it is kind of going for show. So we'll do the show part, no problem. Engine bay is actually very clean right now, but we'll take a look at it and wipe stuff down as necessary. Jack's Wax are a great group of people and products. The black trim renew, yeah. They had an older version of the black trim renew that was really good. The new version is really, really good. Their tire shine is great. I haven't come across, I'll say this, I haven't come across a Jack's Wax product that I'm like, no, I don't want to use that. I haven't, they have tons of stuff. So I'm going to keep using it, until they let me down, and they haven't let me down yet. So, and black is very tough to, keep clean. Once it is clean, it looks really, really fantastic. And I think that's why Haggerty wanted my car there, was because when it does look clean, it looks really, really, really nice. So that's a good point. As far as car maintenance stuff and detailing and cleaning it, car stuff isn't really all that difficult. It is a little time consuming depending on the color. Like black takes longer than gray or brown, but you get out of it what you put into it. It's a very, very straightforward thing. If you spend hours and hours clay barring and polishing and all that, your car is going to look really, really nice. If you only run a duster over it or a quick detailer, it's going to look okay. So you get out of it what you put into it. So when you use a high quality product, you definitely get a better result. And that's why I use the Jack's Wax stuff. I've been using it for more than a decade and very happy with it. Has not let me down yet. For more industrial cleaners, I'll use, brake cleaning you can get from anyone. It's a very simple formula for cleaning other stuff. Engine cleaner, I use the Gunk engine cleaner. I don't know if I have any. I think I used it on the Altima. I thought I had a can of it here. No. I thought I had a can of it. I was wrong. Maybe. See, this is why I hate these cabinets, because I don't know what the hell is in here. I could have sworn I had an extra can of engine cleaner. But there's a company, it's called Gunk, and it's engine cleaner, and they have a 3-step thing. I don't know where the hell it went, but I had a can of it. I put it up here for some weird reason. No, not in any of these cabinets. I hate these cabinets. Drives me crazy. Anyway, Gunk for engine cleaner. Brake cleaner you can get in any brand. It's all the same formula. And then for soap, for cleaning your hands, I use anything with pumice in it. Is great for getting your hands clean after you've gotten really dirty. I think that's about it. It's all very simple. So yeah, I'll be in Daytona from Thursday until Sunday, and then we'll be back here. Going to do we'll do the oil change on the Honda NC700X DCT. So we'll do a little motorcycle stuff because it is really nice weather and it's nice to ride the motorcycle. We should have new oil in it. So I'll do an oil change on that, and I'll probably do an oil change on the Grom too, maybe the following night or the night after, just so when weather gets super nice, I'm not worried about fluids in the motorcycles. And the one other thing I want to check is coolant in the 700, the NC700. I want to make sure that coolant level is set and coolant is in good shape. It is a sealed system, doesn't leak at all, but I just want to check it. And I think that's about it. So we'll have a lot more stuff. I'll have a wrap up from Daytona. If I can go live with the group that is going up there, I will try and do that with you guys, just because I know that's a lot of fun, especially from the race. And hopefully you guys will pop on the channel, because I might do it at like 2 a.m. when everyone's, it's very low populace and, those guys are barely awake. We'll try and do something like that, which is kind of fun. You guys can watch it later on if you're crashed out, but we might do something like super late at night. and I'll get you an update on what cars are in what position and stuff like that. And a bunch of people have asked me about the speaking of racing, they've asked me about the Ultima 600. It's on Freedom Plus right now, so if you're a subscriber on Freedom Plus, you can go watch the whole thing entirely. And apparently, Freedom Plus does a 2-week lag on loading it up to YouTube. So we got about another week and a half, and it'll be up on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch the whole thing in its entirety. You'll be able to watch 800 treadwear tires try and make it around an oval, which is not easy. Um, so yeah, that was one of the questions that I got in one of the messages from you guys. Where is the whole race? And you can get it on Freedom Plus if you subscribe to that, or you can hang on for a couple of weeks. When it does come out, I'll do a wrap up. You know, not a wrap up, but a whatever you want to call it, a summary video, and I'll put a link up to their YouTube channel so you can watch it. Um, it should be kind of interesting. I haven't seen the whole thing, and also I got these out of the Ultima yesterday. Got the sorry, we're not going to do any name brands. I got the action cameras out of the car. I have not, and you know what? I'm just going to set these right here so that I remember to take them in, because I've not looked at the video from the race yet. Since I've had company in town, I've been with the company in town. I haven't sat down at a computer and criticized my own driving to a level that's probably unhealthy. So I will get that up. And if I find really good clips, I will put them up here on the channel. There's going to be a lot of stuff where it's kind of sitting around waiting. And the forward-facing camera did die about, I'm going to guess, probably 50 or 60 laps in. So I'll find out for sure when I watch it. But when I was at one of the red light stops during the race, I looked back and it was not blinking anymore. So I don't know when it quit. And that was about 70 laps into the race, 75 laps. So we'll see how much it got. The rear-facing camera got everything. So I think it actually even got part of the drive back to the house here. So I might see video of me loading up the trailer, which would be kind of comical. What do we got here? Am I rooting for the Aston Martin Valkyrie again? Let me check. Hell yes. So we're rooting for. Here's who I'm pulling for. Porsche is obviously the odds-on favorite. It's got to be. I can't even imagine Vegas would do odds on that. So for me personally, this is who I'm going for. Meyer Shank Racing. Any of those guys. Michael Shank is an awesome guy. He's an Ohio guy. Very, very cool. I've got to talk to him a bunch of times. Really, really nice guy and hardcore racer. He's actually a racer. He's not just, he didn't win the lottery and buy a race team. He used to race, and he's a very, very good driver. So Michael Shank Racing, and he's also won Daytona before. So Michael Shank, we have the Aston Martin. The Valkyrie is just crazy. It sounds so good. You have to hear it in person. You'll see 100 videos of it online, and guys are like, it sounds so good. Come hear it in person. My friend Berg and I were at Sebring last year, and we got crazy close to the Valkyrie, like from me to the Miata hood, at it going through gears 2, 3, 4, and it sounds so, so good. I think production sports cars should all sound like that car. The other one we're pulling for is the McLaren. A friend of mine in Lemons is working for RLL, Rahal, Lanigan, Letterman, and they have not only switched manufacturers, they've also switched classes. So they are not running a BMW in GTD, or in GTD Pro. They're running a McLaren in GTP. So we're pulling for the McLaren, and so we've got those three are my top three that I'm watching. Of course, we want Rexy and Spike to kick ass. AO Racing is really, really cool. They're a lot of fun at Daytona and Sebring. where I've interacted with them and their crew and all their inflatables and everything. They're really, really nice people, and they're a lot of fun, and they're having a really great time with it. So AO Racing is always a fan favorite, and Rexy and Spike are everyone from little kids up to Dick Van Dyke. They all love it. So yeah, the Valkyrie's pretty impressive. Um, so I'll check out the rest of the lineup. I'll probably have updates to that. But those are my top three, and then the honorable mention of AO. So um, that's kind of it. It's a lot of fun. Daytona is huge. It's a very, very large facility, and uh, going from one side to the other, take just walking takes probably 40 minutes. It's a long, long stretch, and so covering that whole area when you're trying to go from like turn one all the way over to like turn 7 or 8, it's a long. It takes a while. I will get my steps in. I will have buns of steel on Monday morning. It is a lot of walking, and um, it's a good thing because you catch, and there's so many like motorhomes and people that have, they've been partying for the last 5 days. People got there. I think I saw some people had posted that they got there on. Did they get there on Sunday? Might have gotten there on Saturday or Sunday, and they're already set up. They're already camping. They're watching practices and the roar before and all this stuff. There's this thing called the roar before 24, and they got there super early. So this is a major, major event at Daytona. This is up there with the Daytona 500. That's NASCAR. This is different, and it's a huge, huge deal. Um, it's a lot of fun, and these people they're hardcore fans, so they're a lot of fun to hang out with and interact with. Um, There'll be a ton of drunk people there. It's just the nature of how that works. Um, but there'll be a lot of really hardcore fans. One thing that I have noticed about, and I noticed this last year, was, and I thought it was really cool, the amount of female engineers, chief engineers on teams that are tweaking the car and making the car perfect and giving it a thumbs up before it goes out. The amount of female engineers was amazing, and I thought that was really cool. Who was it? It was one of the Aston Martin teams, the GTD teams. There were probably 5 or 6 female lead engineers, and I thought that was a very cool thing. That they don't have to be Hulksters; they just have to be very smart and all this stuff to work on this vehicle and get it to run 24 hours. They have to have the right crew. They do the right personnel they hire, and time management and all this other stuff. There's so much that goes into it, and they were kicking ass at it. So that's one of the really cool things to see is the people behind the scenes, the data acquisition people, the engineers, all of that. And at Daytona, you can go like right here. There's a little barrier. You can't go into the garage and jack with the cars, but there's a rope. I mean, you can be right there talking to the lead suspension guy for Porsche. He's right there. If he's got a minute, I'm sure he'll talk to you. You can get that close. And then during the race, you can't get on that side, but they have windows on the opposite side of the garages. So you can go up to the window and you can watch everything that they're doing. If cars get damaged or have to replace something, you can watch that whole process happen. It's really cool. They have a lot of access for average Joes, which is nice. And Sebring's a little different, but it's kind of the same kind of thing. It's only 12 hours at Sebring, so there's not as much action, but there's still a ton, So Sebring is a lot of fun too. Sebring is very, very bouncy. Cars are set up different because it's a airfield, and that just that's part of the concrete and how it works. So Daytona is a lot of fun, and it's cool to do with a group of people. 2 guys go off here, you and a couple of guys go over this way, and you meet back, and you text each other or whatever, and everyone finds all the cool stuff. Oh, go check out Cadillac's display, or go over to, you know, the Penske VIP area, and they've got calendars or whatever. You know, you always find all the cool stuff. So um, Daytona is really really cool. Um, we're definitely going to have a good time with it, and I'm pretty happy that uh, I got a call from Haggerty, and they want me at their VIP party, and they want the car there. That's very cool. I'm very very excited about that. Um, hopefully, it's a regular thing we do. Everyone that's dying to see me in a suit again, guess what? You'll probably get some pictures of me in a suit again. That's twice in 2 months. That's pretty rare. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's always weird getting out of a Viper in a suit. I don't know why, but that seems sort of unnatural. But it's all right. I don't mind it. I love my suits, so it's fine. I prefer a racing suit, but I'll do a business suit. That's fine. What else we got? Um, I think that's about it. I'll try and get a ton of pictures, and I'll put it up on my social media so you guys can check those out. And if I can, like I said, if I can do a live stream and there's not a kabillion people around, I'll try to do that. If I can do a live stream for the finish, I will definitely do that. And the finish is actually pretty cool. That would be the live stream for the finish would be Sunday. I probably started at like 1:30. So that's Eastern time. And then you guys can watch for the last, 10 or 12 minutes, the cars coming through. And then you can see, who won, all of that other stuff. Let's see who else is here. App Mobile Concierge. Is that a Viper SRT10? Confirmed. Good eye. Yeah, this is my 2008 Dodge Viper SRT10 Aero Coupe. This is the little brother to the ACR. So I love this car. It's absolutely amazing. I raced it for 2 seasons, and it's not a track car anymore. It's just a street car, and I have other race cars that I do. So this one's awesome. Love this car. And yes, that is a 1996 Mazda Miata MX-5. So that car is also fun as hell. Don't be confused. This car's fun as hell. That car's fun as hell. Even my truck's fun as hell. What it feels like to drive it. Never change it with another car. If I did, the only way to go up for me would be to go to a Gen 5. This is a Gen 4. I would do a Gen 5 Voodoo 2. That's the only way for me, or a Ferrari F40. So there's 2 right there. But for me, this is fantastic. I'm very comfortable with this. I know the limits on this car, and I'm very, very happy with the car. What it's like to drive it. I tell people it's like having a best friend that's a serial killer. So you like hanging out with them and going out and doing stuff, but you never know when there's going to be like they're going to try and kill you. So you have to be kind of on your toes all the time. You can't screw around. When you're driving this car, there's no scrolling through TikTok. VidVoc. There's no, you can't jack around with the radio or anything like that. You have to be very, very, very focused. There's no traction control. There is ABS, but that's only because the government made it put it on. You have to pay attention. You cannot screw around. Roadhead is not recommended in this car. As fun as that sounds, it's not recommended. Pay attention, or it'll kill you really, really quick. Really quick. Sybil with a V10. What was the other question? It seems fun. It is very, very fun. And how long have I had it? I think I've had this car about 10 years, 9 years, something like that. I'd have to check with Bill, the previous owner, on when I purchased it, but I think I've had him 9 or 10 years. I had a Gen 3 Viper with the same set of black with silver stripes before this, and I had a Viper truck as my daily driver. So this is my 3rd Viper. What was your other question? What was your first sports car, supercar, and what age? Does a 73 Chevy Malibu count as a sports car? If it only had 2 doors. but it was a straight six, and it was three on the tree that was converted to three on the floor. No, okay, that doesn't count. First, like sports car, Dodge Shadow. No, that's front wheel drive. Um, First sports car, I guess my dad's Porsche, 78 911 SC, uh, silver with lobster interior, and it had electric sunroof. My dad really wanted a Targa, but in the gray market that he bought it from, they didn't have a Targa, so he got the electric sunroof. Um, and my dad got that car when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, I think. And yeah, so that was probably the first sports car I ever drove. Did my dad know that I was driving it? No, absolutely not. But my brother and I never beer canned it, so we fought over it a lot. I got stabbed over that car, but never hurt the car. But definitely drove it, and had a lot of sex in that car. So that was fun. Personal sports car for me, gosh, I don't know. Um, probably the Viper. My Gen 3 Viper, I guess, would be like proper hardcore sports car. Um, I had a lot of other fun cars and big four-wheel drive trucks and stuff like that. But yeah, and never really done the chronology. Um, but yeah, I think that was probably the first one. But my first experience was definitely uh, doing uh, nefarious things in my dad's 911 SC. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to think. Might have been the Miata. It might have been the I don't know. I didn't have multiple cars until I was in my 30s, so I'd have to go back and look at that. That's a good question. But I think first proper sports car is probably the Viper that I own personally. Otherwise, it was my dad's 911 SC. Beautiful car, absolutely beautiful car. Yeah, he called it his mistress. He took incredible care of it. So it was uh, it was a really 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 nice car. I didn't have a Dodge Dart. You know what? I had a 1970 Mercury Cougar with 351 Cleveland and a C6. So that might be a sports car. I mean, that's a pony car, a muscle car, but that might technically count as a sports car. You want to talk about nefarious shit? I did a lot of really dumb shit in the car. Yeah, I did a lot of dumb stuff. I can do 10 hours of live streaming about the dumb shit I've done in cars. And that would get me to my first year of college, not even like since then. So yeah, we could do a whole list of that stuff. Yeah, maybe the Cougar, or I guess that was kind of it. I got kind of sensible after that, or I shouldn't say sensible, but I got smart. Mhm. Yes, it is absolutely a life worth living, and this is like the next chapter with moving here to Florida and racing in between. The race cars are back up in Ohio at my shop there, and the other cars are down here. So I have the limo out here. I have the Viper and the Miata, and I have the Altima, which is technically now it's a race car. It's been in a race. So I have the other fun cars down here, and I have fun cars up in Ohio. And my friends up there, we're going to do a bunch of racing this summer when the tundra thaws. And so yeah, it's definitely a life worth living. And this new chapter down here is fun as hell too. Absolutely loving it down here. 100% loving it. So we'll do more stuff. Like I said, tonight I just wanted to show you guys the before, and tomorrow, before I load this up, I'm going to load it up on Thursday morning. I'll do an after tomorrow night, and you guys can see how much nicer not only the Viper looks, but I'll also get the Miata cleaned up too, so it'll be ready for whenever I get done with Daytona. First personal supercar uh, that felt like a dream driving it. I guess the Viper is a supercar. So my Gen 3 I'll tell you guys a funny story about picking that up. So I bought the Gen 3. It came from South Carolina, and the transport guy showed up in an ice storm, and he showed up at the big supermarket parking lot, and it was about 3 or 4 miles from my house, and so I got dropped off there, and the car was perfect, everything was fine. I signed off on it, but it had the run flats on it, the original run flats, which are terrible tires to begin with, and there's a half inch of ice on the road all the way back to my house. Now, back to my house was pretty level. There's a couple little dips, but it took me those 3 miles. It took me 2 hours to drive those 3 miles. And then my driveway had just a little bump up before it got kind of flat. I could not make it up that. It was probably a 6-inch rise. Could not make that. I had to come from the other side. Normally I would come this way. I had to come from the other side with speed and hopefully not run into the trees on the far side of the driveway. And it was I don't know, 10 or 11 at night when the guy showed up. So it was at night in an ice storm with 500 plus horsepower and run flats. That was really scary. What age did I have my first Viper? I was in my 30s. So yeah, I don't remember the exact age. I'd have to do some serious math. That's go check out Learn with Sherlock on Instagram. He can do the math. I can't do that level of math. I was in my 30s when I got my first Viper, and I got the Viper truck first, and then I got the Gen 3, and then I got this, and then there was about 10 days where I had all three of them. And I sold the Viper truck and I sold the Gen 3. The Viper truck went to a very nice guy in Michigan, and he's very happy with it. The Gen 3 went to a lady, ironically enough, in South Carolina, or coincidentally enough, in South Carolina. She then got married and I think she moved to Virginia. And then I just have the Gen 4 now. Let's see who else is here. Hecky. Oh, and hello. Yin XHS. I'm going to try and pronounce that. I can't. Sorry, man. I'm trying. What else? Sped up statistics about Kevin. Yeah. These are the rapid fires. So yeah, I'll try and be, I'll try and be fast with them. But yeah, the first time I got my Gen 3, that ice storm drive, even in that 3 miles, I learned so much about the car, because now when I take it on the road, I know what loss of traction feels like. I know where the fulcrum point is for spinning around. I know all this stuff, and I learned it on that 3 miles in that ice storm. And it made you respect the car immediately. You didn't have to go out and rip it with your buddies. You would have immediate respect for the car because you would have no control almost immediately. So it made it a lot easier to transition. I had some fast trucks and other stuff before that. So transitioning into lower ride height, having the wheel right behind my ass, it's a different driver position and all of that stuff. That made that transition a little bit easier. Doing that long trip through that ice storm, that made it a lot easier. I think a lot of guys will get these cars on a nice July day, take it out and rip it and wrap it around a telephone pole. So no Jerry the race car driver stuff here. If you guys get that reference, if you get that reference, you should be subscribed anyway. So let's see. Oh, we got more questions coming. My family think I'm crazy, but I want to buy an Aston Martin Vantage. I don't think that's crazy at all. I'm 24. I want to put money and buy it and be my. Okay, so first off, Aston Martin, cool. First car, no. Fun car, yes. First car, no. Get a daily driver. And I recommend this to a whole bunch of people because I think it's a smart move. Go get a 2000s Toyota Corolla S. Now, the Corolla S has the cool body kit on it. You can get it in a manual, which I highly recommend. It is completely highway capable. It's got 4 doors, so you can take your ding-dong friends in the back. You pick them up at the airport and bring them back, or pick them up from the bar or whatever. Corolla S, your insurance is going to be stupid cheap, especially at 24. All of your maintenance on that Corolla is going to be incredibly cheap. You can do literally a $20 oil change. Tires, brakes, everything is really, really cheap on the Toyota. You're going to, and your insurance will be awesome. You need to save that money because you're going to be putting it towards a much nicer Aston Martin Vantage V8. There are crap ones out there that people are trying to offload because they don't want the maintenance costs. So you want to get one as nice as possible. Get the Corolla S. That is your daily driver. It's still fun. It's manual. You can still rip around in it. That's great. Then you have the weekend fun car, and that's what the Aston Martin should be. That should be, Friday night cruising out with your friends. That's what you want the Aston for. You do not want it as a daily. You don't. You want something cheap, reliable, simple. Another simple daily, Honda Accord Coupe V6. And I don't know if you can still get those in manual, but even if you get an automatic, another very cool daily driver. Stupid cheap insurance, stupid cheap maintenance, stupid cheap parts. Then you have your fun car, whatever that is. F40, Koenigsegg, whatever. But have that daily driver. That's what you really want. Because if you have something like an Aston Martin and you need a valve cover gasket, it's going to take a lot longer to get that than if you have a Corolla. So that means you're taking either the Lamborghinis or the bus. And no one wants to take the loser cruiser. So that's why you have the Corolla. I can throw a rock to a parts store and get a Corolla head gasket. I mean, that's, valve cover gasket. That's super easy. Getting an Aston Martin valve cover gasket is going to take a while. I definitely have to order it. And if I go to Aston Martin or any of the exotic dealerships, they're going to charge me probably one kidney and half an eye for one. So that's why you do the basic daily. Is a 2016 Corolla S super sexy? Nope. But it's super smart. So, save sexy for the weekend. Trust me, it's well worth it. Well worth it. The other reason you do that is then you appreciate the Aston Martin way, way more. If you had it as a daily, you're going to not appreciate it as much as if you had it as just the weekend car. And also, maybe it's just me. I think drivers are getting worse. So I don't want people dinging up my shit. I would rather have them, hit the bumper cover on a Corolla versus hitting the bumper cover on an Aston. So that's just me. If you're minimizing road time, the less chance you get hit. And there's so many distractions now. So I think that's a big one. That's a big one. And I'm not a perfect driver either. I got honked at earlier today when I did not see this guy coming up in my rearview mirror. He was coming full blast in his 1500, and I looked over. I thought I had a clear lane, and I started to come over, and he honked at me because I didn't see him. So it can happen to anyone. So that's my suggestion. You can take that with a grain of salt. You can take that as sound advice, but that would be my suggestion, because you can still have fun in a Corolla S. I've seen those things ripping around. They're great. Thanks for the advice, Kev. I'm going to listen to that. Yes, you're right. Going from a Corolla to an Aston is going to feel crazy. What's the biggest crazy cool story you had with a car? Oh, shit, man. Oh, crap. I forgot there's still cat litter right there. I'm going to slip. And I did it again. These shoes don't have any traction. Craziest cool car story. I should do like live streams on absolutely nutty car stories. I have stuff that will haunt your dreams. You'd just be like, I got enough horror to sink your ship. And you'd be like, there is no way that happens. And then you know what? We'll call my brother, and my brother will be like, "Oh yeah, we should get Damon on the line," and he'll tell us the same thing because he was in his VW blog when we were doing. I have off-roading stuff that will make you cry. I have on track stuff that will make you laugh. You're you'll just pee your pants with laughter. Um, I don't know if I have a craziest. Um, that would be kind of a hard one. I would have to go through the stories and then try and rank them out of all of that. But I mean, there's a lot of Tail of the Dragon stuff. There's a lot of track stuff. There's a lot of high school, college stuff, and I would have to try and rank them that way. Um, Craziest, um, uh, you know, 180 in this thing is pretty crazy, but 150 in the SRT4 on the back straight of VIR is also crazy. And then having uh, Savannah Little pass me like I'm in a Walmart parking lot. I'm doing $1.50, and she just walked right past me. Um, what other crazy stuff? Watching Nolan on Facebook Live take my race car off at turn one at VIR and just completely missing turn one and going right off. What other crazy stuff? Mike Schursberg just disappearing on Tail of the Dragon as we're ripping through there. Like his car just, it was like a magic trick. It just disappeared. He went up on the far wall and we didn't even see him because we were coming through so fast and there wasn't even a dust cloud or anything yet. What else? I mean, my brother's stabbing me, so he could take my dad's car out. Is that a crazy one? I got like 8 stitches right here. So um, I don't know. There's a ton of them. I mean, Kitson's GMC Jimmy. That was well, you can't say SUPERBOWL. So it was during the big game, and it was a huge snowstorm in Steamboat, and we were out just jacking around in our cars, and he stuck his GMC Jimmy so bad. And then he hooked the winch up front to a dumpster like across the street at some condo complex. And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is going to get me out." No, dude, it's not. It's going to pull that dumpster towards you though. And he's like, "No, no, no, it'll be fine. It's frozen in the ground and stuff." No, all it did is drag the dumpster across the condo complex parking lot. It was funny. We had to get a rotator in there, one of the big, like huge, 20-ton rotators. And they went over and they craned his truck out and brought it out onto the street. It was nuts. Mm. Doing Spring Creek in my Jeep Cherokee, sinking up to, if I move the cat litter, I have a little bit of grip. I had a 73 Cherokee Chief, and it had, big 40-inch tires and, lift kit and all that shit on it. And we were on Forest Service Road 296 outside of Steamboat, and it was one of our favorite places to camp. And we're going up the road, and I decided to go around one of our friends. I don't remember who was with us, but I decided to go around, and I didn't realize that the field was still very wet from all the rain, and it looked like solid dirt, but it was not. It was basically like cheesecake. And so I take this, 5,000-pound truck, and I'm trying to go around my buddy, and it sinks up to the door handles. That was the end of my weekend camping trip. That was it. I had to get a ride back to town, get a shovel. One of my buddies came back with me, and I dug the thing out. I mean, it was up to the door handles, probably 3 feet of it wasn't mud. It was just incredibly soft dirt, and the whole thing sunk down. So that one was very crazy. I did not have time to put it in 4 low and dig out. It just went. It was so quick. Let's see what else we got here. Demon Mutant, insane car man. Hey, thank you. I'm stuck with a Tesla. My dream car is either a Viper or an M-Comp. Nothing. And here's a lot of people ask me about electric stuff. Electric can be cool. It's not for me right now. It can be cool, but there's going to be a time and place for that, and it's coming. We need the battery technology to get better, all that stuff. If you like super tech, go get a Tesla. They have the incredible technology in those things. If you like instant torque and you like your ass pinned in that seat, go get a Tesla Plaid. All you're going to do is have your shoulders pressed into the back of the seat. Great. But for me, the styling's not quite there yet. That crazy yoke steering wheel is kind of weird. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not hot on with it. The biggest thing for me is the battery technology. It keeps improving every day. So once we get the battery technology where they're using it in commercial vehicles to haul 80,000 pounds from New York to LA, that's when we're going to have that stability with the electric vehicles. We're going to have the infrastructure to handle it, and we're getting very close there. And it's really cool to watch because I'm a huge fan of torque. Obviously, I had, 4x4 trucks, and this thing has 644 pounds of torque. So I love torque. But when they get to the point where the battery technology is, matching what the kind of novelty cars can do, like the Tesla Roadster, the new one that's coming out, and like the Plaid and stuff. When that becomes sort of a standard, that's when the cars are going to look really cool. And they could use a few stylists to make it look a little bit better. That's just me. And, taste is acquired, right? So let's see. An M comp. I have a buddy who has a M2, and he absolutely loves it. I have a few friends that have M comps. One buddy has an M5 comp. Absolutely chef's kiss. Really, really nice cars. Really nice cars. You cannot go wrong with that. I had a friend who had a 135, and it was called Hans, and it was a really cool car. The 135s later on, I think it was the M1, even though BMW had a different M1. It's like Ferrari calling it La Ferrari. Well, it's already a Ferrari. Why would you call it the Ferrari? So anyway, BMW did the M1, but they had an M1 like 25 years ago. The M1s are really cool. Little short guy, lots of power. M2 comps are super cool. M3 comps are okay, but they're sort of kind of everywhere. Now, they're not like C8s, but there's a lot of them out there. And then I've seen a few M4 comps look really cool, and the M5 comps. I like it. Obviously, I like a big. I'm 6'1", so I like a big car. But yeah, I got a performance for everyday use. Just don't like that it's super quiet. It's fast and everything. But you want something loud. There are pro mods out there. You can go get a Nitro Funny car, and you will piss off every single neighbor you have. Hey, Will, 135s can be cool. Yep. 135s can be cool. And what did I see today? I saw a beautiful white Z4 hardtop. Absolutely mint on, what was that? It was on Tamiami Trail. And I saw at the local grocery store, I saw a little old lady getting out of a dead mint red Z4. It was really, really nice. So yeah, 135s are cool. The M1s, the M version of the ones were really cool. I like that. It's kind of a Tasmanian devil. It's a little M1s and M2s are like that. They're big power and a lot of fun, and they handle great. So BMW's had a lot of cool cars. They've had a lot of bomb outs, but they've had a lot of cool cars. What else did I see today? I actually saw a Volvo wagon, a 2025 Volvo wagon in Nardo Gray. I want to say it was an S70. I don't remember. It looked really good. Had like 20-inch wheels on it. It was nice. Oh yeah, Demon. Don't worry about the quiet thing on the daily. That's fine. You want the loud thing on your fun car. It's not a bad thing, to be honest, but the 100K price tag is a bad thing. Yes. Yes. If money's no object, this would be all This would be a Gen 5. You wouldn't be looking at a Miata and a Gen 4. You'd be looking at a Voodoo 2 and an F40. That would kind of be it. If I only had to do two, and then my truck to haul them around. That would be it. So yeah, the money thing is always the deciding factor on all of that. But and don't worry too much about your daily being super loud or quiet or anything like that. The quieter it is, the less the cops are going to bug you. If you have a you know a loud car or something sounds like a UPS truck, they're going to look at you more. So having a daily that's kind of quiet, not a bad thing. The Miata has an exhaust on it, but it's not that crazy loud. I drive that thing all the time, and I drive the 2500. And it's a big diesel truck, and it's not that big a deal either. Any reason for NA instead of black NB for the Mini Viper lookalike? That was kind of an accident. I got a great deal on it, and it happened to be black. All the body panels were still there. There was a little bit of rocker rust, which is in the corners where the drains are. That's standard for all Miatas. So I just kept it black, and it was kind of accidental. I wasn't trying to get. I'm not like that crazy guy who only buys yellow Porsches. It was an accident that it happened to be black, and I really like the black color. And according to astrophysicists, black is the fastest color in the universe. So we're going to stick with that. It was an accident. I would love to get silver stripes, the Cascade silver stripes on the Miata to match the Viper. That would be really cool. That would be fun. But that Miata has run with the Viper guys at Tail of the Dragon. It's very funny. There's some funny video on Instagram of me absolutely right on one of the Viper guys' asses. It's very funny. NA versus NB. I don't. You want to know the real reason NA versus NB? I will show you the real reason. You guys watch this. Here's the whole reason NA versus NB. It is right there. And then I'll show you the other fun part. If you do this a few times. There you go. If you want to know why NA over NB, that's why. You get the blinky lights, you get the pop-ups, and you can get them to wave. NBs are awesome. One of my friends, Brian, has a really, really specced out, super badass track autocross NB. Really great car. Nothing wrong with that. So, but for me, it's the pop-ups. I love the pop-ups. That's fun for me. What else we got? We got other notes here. I already got a ticket with the Tesla. Yeah, don't do that. Didn't notice I was going 103. Yeah, they have a new law here in Florida called the super speeder law. So if you're going over 100 miles an hour or over, they will impound your car and take you to jail. So in this car, it's a lot like the Tesla. You're in fourth gear, all of a sudden you are doing 120 and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize. I was sorry. I wasn't trying to. It just happened. Tesla's the same way because it's super quiet. It's like, and you're gone. You have one gear. You don't really even notice it. Yeah. That's the other thing with Tesla, with electric cars. I kind of miss the shift. I know we all like the smoothness of it just keep going and going and going. But if I could have a shift, if I could have 2 or 3 gears in there, like even if it just paused for a second and then went back on, I think that would be a more natural feeling to what we're used to with either with automatics or with manual transmissions. That's just me. And get rid of CVTs. Nobody likes those. Like simulated ones. Oh yeah, Liz is working on a tiny Viper. She has a Miata too. She's working on a tiny Viper. Got an NC for my first car. Very cool. 8K and a nice NA NB. NCs, I'm okay with all the Miatas. NCs were definitely the biggest Miatas. And I had a student that had he came to, I don't remember if it was NASA or Auto Interest or whatever, but he had a and I don't remember the version. It was an ND, and it was the race spec version or the track spec version, whatever it was. It was awesome. It was a really, really great car. Great power, great handling. It was whatever the ND version of the Miata spec is. I don't remember. It was rally spec or race spec or something like that. And it was a really, really cool car. He had a really great time in that. I've seen NAs smoke NBs. I've seen NBs smoke NAs. Again, with a Miata at the track, it is a full 100% driver's car. So, like I said earlier, Brian Till, he'll lap me all day long in the Miata if I'm in this. That's the difference. So it's a lot of driver stuff. Oh, some electric cars do have simulated gears. Yeah, that's like the CVTs. They don't have actual gears, but they have that. They have like a guide, and it stops the chain from going over, and then the guide will let the chain go over again, and then it'll let it go. But it's actually just a cone. It's yeah. You have paddle shifters in an electric car. Okay, I there's a lot of unnecessary there, but okay. I just it would be nice to have the ability, and like I said, the technology in the Tesla stuff is 2 decades ahead of any of the big three or any of the European guys. It's so far ahead of everyone. I think that Tesla is sneaking over SpaceX guys to work on the Tesla stuff, and they're like moonlighting over there. So they have the technology. Have that as an option. I want to, I want gear shift mode or transmission mode or whatever, so that you can have that shift, and then you can turn it off if you want. Trust me, those guys can do it. I mean, their display is picking up like raccoons running across the road in real time. I mean, they can probably do a faux 4-speed or 6-speed or whatever, or even do it. You could have fun with it. You could have a Fast and Furious shifter setting, so you have like 35 gears. That would be very funny. For me, it'd be very funny. I don't think anyone else would find humor in it, but I think it would be funny as hell. Um, yeah, I'm with you on that, Demon. The electric stuff is cool, and it's really funny. Electrics have been around actually longer than gasoline cars, so don't tell anyone that because they'll freak out. But uh, it's one of those. I it's one of those, we're looking at the future right now. We have these binoculars and we're looking at the future. We just need it to get closer to us. We need that battery technology to get there. And we need their incredible technology to infiltrate the rest of the automakers. So someone like Tesla, who's completely cutting edge, that stuff needs to, meld down into Ford and Chevy. And these, you read about the big automakers and they're bailing on the electric programs because they're not selling. They're not selling because the technology isn't there. So once the technology is there, that's where sales increase, and that's where we get the benefit of all the stuff that we've been dying for. If you want to know the reason why Tesla is successful, they're the first electric car company, to do a full tank of gas. Once you get past that 300-mile mark, that is a full tank of gas, and you don't have that gas station anxiety because you have 300 miles in the car. That is a huge thing. That's why Tesla won. And the other companies were doing, what was the Nissan Leaf, like 40 miles, and the Chevy Volt was the same thing, like 40 miles. That's absolutely useless for Joe Average in Des Moines, Iowa. That's not going to work for him. You need a full tank of gas, and that's why Tesla won. So we need more technology like that going to Ford, going to Chevy, going to Dodge, going to BMW, going to wherever, and incorporate that into vehicles. Now, it sounds funny to say VAG, but Volkswagen Audi group, they are very cutting edge. They have a lot of really cool technology up there, but they're still a decade behind Tesla, so they need to catch up as well. China is stealing everything from Elon, so they're very close. They're probably only 5 years back. The downside is if you buy one of their supercars for 60, $70,000, you should probably get two or three because that one's not going to last very long, and you'll have to use the other one and throw away. There's a lot of disposability in China, and so they have some very cool. The one car that hops, that I mean, that's super cool, but I don't think that shit's going to last very long. So we need that technology to get better and better, and it is. Tomorrow when you wake up tomorrow, the battery technology is going to be 5% better than it was today. So we have to be a little bit patient, and hopefully we're all still around when that happens, when everyone kind of gets together and they're like, oh, the XYZ battery is the best for trucks and towing, and the ABC battery is best for sports cars and sedans, and for city commuting we use the 123 battery, whatever it is. Get it all together and get it sort of, I don't want to say standardized, but sort of in one package, or maybe 3 or 4 packages depending on the use. Close. They're getting closer. CVT at that point. Yeah, no CVTs. Yeah, when you're talking about CVT, you're talking about the Fast and Furious transmission with like 35 gears. Yeah. Yeah, Will, you're correct. I think it was on Top Gear. Clarkson talked about how a Prius was incredibly detrimental to the planet. People buy that thinking they're saving the planet and they're doing the right thing, but following the production of making a Prius, it's actually one of the grossest vehicles. It actually pumps more crap into the air than if you went and bought a Ford Mustang. And it's amazing that people don't, I guess they're naive and don't know the difference, or they hide all that shit so that they sell more Priuses or sell more Leafs or whatever, so that you don't recognize that the amount of diesel cargo freighters and mining and all the stuff that goes into that is it's just not, it's not good for the planet. We're not saving the planet. One person, Greta, is not saving the planet by herself, I promise. You and I are not saving it by ourselves, but we can all do a little part. Recycle your stuff, pay a little bit of attention to stuff, and you can do your part. And we've gotten a lot better, but we're not doing it by ourselves. My stepmom's convinced that she is absolutely going to save the planet, every polar bear, all by herself. She's not. So I hate breaking that news to her, but that's all right. She also thinks that microwaves are the devil. So yeah, we're even on that. What else we got here? Doing poles in a plaid, I think, is the biggest thing. Yeah, Liz, Katie. So ask Katie about doing poles in the plaid. We did that with 4 people in the car. We're running 9-second quarter miles with 4 people in a car. And the screen actually does go plaid. I think it's over 100 miles an hour. It changes from the black background to red and black plaid. It's really cool. Yeah, Willie, plaids are scary. And the scariest part is that crazy yoke steering wheel. Like if you're in a parking lot and you're trying to get out of the parking lot and you have to make these turns and you're like, I can't really do this, right? So I have to do this and then pull it back around and then let go and come back. I guess it's like steering an airplane, down the taxiway, and they're like, hey, make a hard left. I can't make a hard left, my yoke only goes so far. But in the plaid, the yoke like spins around. It's very funny. But you step on that pedal, you will pin all 4 people in the seat. Absolutely pin them. Yeah, they're very cool. Very cool. But again, this is very tiny numbers. It's also very expensive. It's not for the masses. They're what, 100, 150,000? It's not for the masses. So they're doing very small things. That's cool, but we need to be able to have it in, the commuter car, the sedan, the sports car, the truck, the commercial vehicle, the bus. We need to have that battery technology in order for it to be successful. So it is getting there, but we've still got a ways to go. And there's also the safety factor. I don't know if you guys saw this. There's a couple of drag strips that have banned electrical vehicles because they don't have the safety gear necessary to put out a battery fire. They're not required by law or anything. And they don't want people to get in trouble. They have an accident with an electric vehicle and they can't put it out. So they banned electric vehicles. So there's another factor, the safety thing. Used plaids are cheap. Are they really? I honestly, I haven't shopped for cars, so I don't really know this stuff. A normal steering wheel option would be nice. Yeah. I feel like those vehicles are sitting right now. The new 2026 plaids, they even offer the Lux package, which includes free charging for life. The charging is actually pretty cool. And one of the fun things, my friend Scott, he's been in Tesla since pretty much since day one. I would say like week one. Like he had original coupe with the 2048 laptop batteries or whatever. Um, Actually, I think he had two of those. And the one thing he told me was, it's really cool. You don't have to go to the dealership. They do the upgrades unless you have something major, like with the brakes or with the battery or a door lever or something. They do everything over Wi-Fi. So all of your computer updates, all of your software and everything happens over Wi-Fi, and you get an email in the morning saying, "Hey, we just upgraded your GPS for North Dakota, and we updated your this and changed the battery power mode, consumption mode for this." It's kind of nice. That saved me a whole trip to the dealership. They just did it overnight. They just pumped it into the car. But getting free power would be really cool. Um, oh, you've done launches on the lot. All right, cool. They're 70-ish for a used plaid. Ooh, damn, that's tempting. But you don't get free superchargers. But I mean, the luxury is there. They have very, very nice interiors. The build quality is very good. The torque is what kills. You want to hate it, and you're like, oh, electric, sucks and all. As soon as you step on that pedal, you're sold. It takes all of your negativity away. Once that plaid comes up on the screen, you forget about all your friends. You know, it is amazing. It is an amazing feeling. Do I want to track one? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The regenerative braking on the cars like that go to Daytona and stuff, that's a different regenerative braking system, and those are pretty incredible. I've seen the ones for the Meyer Shank systems, and they're pretty amazing. The ones that you get on uh, uh, production cars for consumers, not even close to that. And so at the track, that would be a bigger detriment than an advantage. But for cruising around town, it's actually a pretty good system. But I wouldn't take a consumer car to the track to race it. It wouldn't. Drag race is one thing, but like a road course or an autocross, I probably wouldn't do that. It's not a. I don't think that system's set up for any of that. Um, okay. Oh, the charging transfers. Okay, so that's kind of tempting, man. I mean, those are it's what, $20 to fully charge one, like a P80D or one of the dual motors or whatever. I don't know. It's one of those things to think about for daily driving. It's not a bad thing because it's a very nice, comfortable ride. Um, if you're getting superchargers for $0, that's cool. You're still paying for the electric at your house, but that's one of those things. Crunch the numbers. Maybe it is worth it. If you can get one that's not an ugly color, that's still in really good shape, hasn't been abused, maybe that is for you. For me, right now, that's not it. I don't think that's it. I think I would do something different, but that's a hell of a deal, man. Because those were 150, 180, and to get them for 70 grand, that's a pretty good deal. So, especially if you get the Chargers. Yeah, 70K with 5,000 miles. Okay. Yeah, Liz, there are ones that have been modified, and I'm pretty sure the one you're talking about at Grid Life has been reprogrammed. So they can work at the track, but just the ones off the lot, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't do. And again, I don't know. I've never tracked one, but Even with the incredible technology in the Tesla stuff, I probably wouldn't track it. I would probably stick with this. And they might have a track mode that does different braking and the motors work differently. Whatever. I honestly don't know. I haven't jacked with it enough, but I probably wouldn't do it. I would stick with this or the Miata. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be slower in the Miata, but I promise you this: I will have a much bigger smile on my face when I get out of the car. Promise. I promise. Like I said, that technology is getting there. The battery technology is the big thing. The other technology is that's the mac and the cheese. You have those two things together, and you mix them in one car, you're going to get a winner. You're going to get a winner. And and then don't advertise bullshit like that Ford Lightning. It's going to power your house when the power goes out. Also, it's not a Lightning. They already did that. Come up with a new name. Try. Spend 60 seconds and try and come up with an original name. You too, Chevy. That is not a Blazer. I don't give a shit what you say. Put down the chai mocha latte, cut off your stupid man bun, and wear something besides flannel and come up with an actual name. God damn, Blazer. Try. You're getting paid a shitload of money to not do that. So, yeah, sorry. It was a little Blazer rant. Isn't that just an Envoy or whatever the Envoy variant is? Trailblazer? It's not a Trailblazer even. It's a, I can't even remember what it is. It's a crap little crossover. Are you looking forward to the C9 or the Mark 6? Mark 6 Supra, absolutely. I love the Mark 5s. I think they're a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people have done some very cool stuff with it. The aftermarket just blossomed after they came out when people started figuring out, oh, it's a BMW. Well, it's also kind of a Toyota. They just started going, and they're like, we don't care. We'll do all of it. And then people are crossing over. They're like making the Supras BMWs. They're like putting BMW badges and valve covers and stuff on it. It's very fun. I love the Mark 6 Supra. Down here in Florida, C8s are an absolute virus, and I I don't I I don't find anything redeeming on the C8 that makes me go, oh yeah, I need one. They can have 1,500 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 1 second, and a 6 second quarter mile on pump gas. It's not redeeming. The looks, all that. And again, I've had students. I had a student who had the ZL1, or no, what was LT1? It was one of the performance packages when they first came out. Air conditioned seats is nice when you're at the track. The rest of the car, I can absolutely do without. I have no redeeming. For me, there are no redeeming features to the C8. So if the C9 goes back to front engine rear drive, we'll see how it goes. I don't have a feeling that Chevy's going to do that because they are dying to be like Ferrari. They are dying to be like Lamborghini. They are dying to be like McLaren. They are dying to be like Zonda. They're dying to be. Pick whoever you want, whoever they copied, Acura, whoever, and they have a diehard, fan base and crowd that will always buy. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, here's the rubber dog poop C8. Oh, I need 2 of those, and I'll pay 30 over sticker for the dog poop V8 or C8. Yeah, sure. You're gonna find that anywhere. So as long as they keep milking people, they'll keep doing that. C8 for me is nothing fancy. Honestly, I'm out. C7 and any C up to 7, C1 through 7, all good stuff. C8, bomb out. That's in my book. A lot of people love them. A lot of people own multiples. I did see about the potential MR2 from Toyota, and then they gave us a key truck for the jungle. I was like, I thought we were getting a new MR2, and then they have this like convertible key truck. I was like, where's where's the kick-ass MR2 concept? Same thing with the Hyundai, their new coupe concept. You guys said you were making that. Are you making it, or you're just yanking our chain? Um, and then you asked about the Mark 6. I don't know if they've confirmed it, but I've seen, like you have seen, not only all the AI bullshit that they try and lure you in with. You know how many AI things I've seen for the Viper, for the Gen 6 Viper? Confirmed, and you see all this shit. It's all AI, which is fine. You know, that go with your creative juices, but don't try and pawn it off as real. Same thing with the Mark 6. I've seen probably 5 or 6 different designs. They're all very similar, but it would be nice to see a Toyota executive get out of one that he drove on stage, right? That's what we're waiting for. We have not seen that yet. There's tons of rumors, tons of speculation, but I want to see one of the head guys, one of the big wigs at Toyota, get out of one that he just drove on stage. After he puts it in neutral. Yeah, he puts it in neutral, puts on the parking brake, and gets out of it. That's what we all want to see with the Mark 6 Supra. Those Supras are actually a lot of fun. There's a couple of local guys here. There's one local guy here has a silver one that's done up really, really nice. It's set up for road course stuff and autocross stuff, and it looks really good. It sounds great. And then I have a friend in Columbus who has a yellow Mark 5 that's just, I mean, it's super cool. And he's doing all of these incredibly tasteful mods. He's like checking with people, is this cool or is this Ricer? So he's doing it right up there. He's got a really, really cool Mark 5. But I have seen a bunch of guys at car events here in Florida that have gone, it's a BMW now. They've like rebadged all of the Toyota stuff is gone, and it's, you know, a BMW, which is fun. I think they're having fun with it, it's cool. That's part of car culture, you know. Let's see. Mark 5 Super sales numbers were not great. Yeah. They need to pull a Dodge and airdrop it, run it down a track. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, didn't they bring it in on a helicopter? One of the Hellcat things, they brought it in on a helicopter and then it launched down the track. There's always that initial with when cars come out, when the new generation comes out. There's always that initial blast, and you know, Jay Leno buys one on Barrett Jackson for $1 million, whatever it is. Then everything's kind of, you know, taper off, and unless you have a minivan or a crossover or what else, or an F-150, otherwise sales kind of taper off. So you'll have to reinfuse it, whether you do a Mark 5A or a Mark 5B, you know, sort of a facelift and ass lift. I don't know, is it a Brazilian butt lift on a car? I guess it's just a back lift, right? It could be a facelift and back lift. I don't know. If you know, do a little, some changes, add some interior pieces, sort of help it out, you know, modernize it in the last few years. You know, it hurts to change tooling or change suppliers or whatever, but maybe that could infuse some life in sales. And then while you're doing that, work towards a Mark 6, figure out what people want, what's going to sell, and what works really well. So that's the hard part, is getting that balance. What works, what sells, what people want. Yeah, 3-card Monty, right? With any kind of car. Yeah, for the Demon 170 Vegas. Yeah, I remember that. What else? Did I miss any other messages? Even the effects on YouTube agree with you. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. Maybe did I do those? Does that work? I don't know. Sometimes it does work. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Miata Smiles transfer to driver instantly. That is correct. That is correct. Yeah, Lightning was the perfect name for a Ford EV truck. Just a dud, unfortunately. Yeah, it was a perfect name, but it had already been used. So that's why I said, like, try to come up with, something new. The Ford Shocker. Well, Shocker's probably got an Urban Dictionary term that it doesn't want to use, but you know what I mean. Well, I guess Scat Pack isn't any better, right? So that's funny. Oh, BMW pulled the plug on the Z4 platform. Okay. The Lexus GT prototype looks absolutely fantastic, and Toyota did have the new race car come out. I don't remember what it was. Is it the GR Coupe? I don't remember what it was, but it was fantastic, and it was real. You could actually touch it. So that looks familiar. If we can get it, dial it back about 20% or put it in the dryer for 20 minutes, if we can get that as a production, uh, you know, sports car, that would be awesome. That'd be really great. And that's another thing for the younger folks out there. Uh, it's okay to have favorites, but don't put blinders on. Don't like only a Viper guy. I only like Vipers. Screw Corvettes. I only like Vipers. Nope. No McLarens. No. Don't do that. You're really going to limit yourself. And you're going to limit yourself in driving fun and meeting people and, all of the rest of it. That's why you have to have that open mind and, try something or talk to the people or look at it in person, whatever. Don't put those blinders on and only do something. You can have a favorite. That's great. But don't do that because you're going to miss out. Like if I only did Viper stuff, I never would have had a Miata. If I only did Viper stuff, I wouldn't have a 26-foot limo with a hot tub in the back. You know, the point of it is to have fun and to enjoy yourself with the cars. If you limit yourself to one thing, like I only like Ford Pintos, you're really missing out on a whole ton of stuff. So that would be another piece of advice. Take the blinders off, look around. Keep your favorites in your back pocket, no problem. But look around and see the other stuff out there. Maybe a Mustang's for you. The new GTD Mustang. Whoo! I saw it in person last year at the Multimatic guys had it at Daytona. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And even cooler is the wrap on the car. So that light, that Mustang light that they have over the rear wheel, that's not, it's LED. This is so badass. It is LED that is built into the wrap. It's so cool. You can't feel it. It's still totally smooth, but it's LED that's built into the wrap, and it comes on it when the headlights come on. It is so badass. It's very, very, very expensive, but it's really cool. You cannot feel it. It feels absolutely smooth. But that Mustang logo they have over the rear wheel is really cool. The GTD Mustangs are awesome. The GT350s are cool. Thank you for the shifter. GT500s, okay. But you get a bunch more power, so that's a trade-off. And then the GTD stuff is, of course, it's huge money, but they're really, really kick-ass. And their race cars are just bonkers nuts. That's why the M3 Comp X Drive is a top choice for me. The X Drive system on the BMWs is actually really, really good. They have really good computer control on that. Audi, of course, beats pretty much everyone's ass with that. I guess it would go Audi, Jeep, and then probably Subaru system is really good, but it can't handle the power. And then probably X Drive after that. Maybe Mercedes-Benz and X Drive are tied for third. True again, I love my Mopar core. Love me. Yeah. So yeah, Liz knows. You don't if you take your blinders off, you're gonna have so much more fun. You can leave them on if you want, Hey, all the Monaros. That's it. That's my whole life. What about the Maloo? What about what about the XB Falcon? I mean, Mad Max. Get an XB Falcon. What? Peter Brock? Come on. That's a whole ton of Australia for you guys right there. It's like 30 seconds of all Australia. Hopefully my Australian friends appreciate that. No, rear wheel drive cars, high horsepower. You ever been in a top fuel car? What is Brittany Force doing? Like, she's doing 350, 360 miles an hour in 1,320 feet in 3 seconds. Just do the math on that and think about what your body is doing. And that girl's doing it every weekend, 350 miles an hour. I think those cars are 13,000 horsepower, 11,000 horsepower, something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're rear wheel drive. Rear wheel drive after 700 horsepower, it's kind of a dick swinging contest because your tires, unless you're all wheel drive, your tires really can't hang with that. You would have to go to a drag radial or something super, super sticky. So after 700, it's kind of, I'm just going to post a dyno sheet in a forum and hope I make some friends. Try and impress the one girl that's still left on the forum. That's all that really is. It's I've never had a problem with high horsepower. I grew up in a place where we didn't really consider horsepower. We weren't worried. We learned very quickly about understeer or about oversteer and how to manage it. So it was one of those. I never really had a problem with the back end kicking out because I always knew what I was going to do. And I learned that at a very early age, riding mowers and go-karts and all that shit. So I never really worried about it. With my one race car, it's front wheel drive, and I had to kind of relearn how to do that. I put in my head that I'm driving a Porsche backwards. That's the best way to mentally switch in your head. What are you doing? Okay, if I drove the Porsche backwards, what would I do? Yeah. But yeah, I've never been afraid of a front engine rear wheel drive car or a high horsepower rear wheel drive car. There's never. I don't know. Is 500 horsepower high horsepower? I'll ask that question. I don't know if that's high horsepower anymore. What if it's 500 horsepower and only 1,400 pounds? That's the most terrifying thing I've ever driven. Someone had asked earlier, what was my scariest experience? That it wasn't scary. It was just, that's the biggest adrenaline rush I've had in a vehicle, is launching the aerial atom. It's 500 horsepower and it's 1,400 pounds, and you don't have any body. You're looking out at the ground. It's right there. Like, it doesn't have any of this. So when you're sitting in the car, you can look at the whole suspension, the wheel, the tire, everything. So you have that. It's very visceral and it's very in your face. And the engine is just screaming. Even though you have a helmet on, you can hear it's Ford, their Ford throttle bodies, and they're just sucking in air and fuel. And it's so loud. So loud. It's great though. It's an absolutely fantastic car. It's just scary as shit. C8. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I went on my C8 rant earlier. They're 100% not for me. And I love telling this part. If I go to a Cars and Coffee or a car event and there's a C8 there and I'm with my friend, I will walk past and in a much louder than necessary voice, I will tell my friend, dude, check out the new NSX. Nothing pisses off a Corvette owner more than misidentifying their car. So, yeah, the C8s are not, and here in Florida, it's really bad. You can throw a rock and hit a C8. They're everywhere. And then the taste that C8 owners have is, I want to say questionable, just so I can be polite. There's some really, really terrifying shit out there. So, but then again, on Saturday, I saw an Altima with jackknife doors. So I don't know what the world is coming to. Maybe it's World War III and everyone drives a C8. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. There was a really nice Altima, like this guy was racing in the race and he was like all ready to go to SEMA, but he pulled up to a racetrack and he had full on jackknife doors. I mean, it was an Altima Countach and it was hysterical. I got a picture of it. It was so damn funny. I'm like, okay, man. He had extra bracing here for the mounts that bring the jackknife doors up. So I'm like, yeah, you've got, extra bracing there. It was just comical. So yeah, going back to the racing stuff, incorporating all of the racing stuff that we're going to see this weekend, from the prototypes, from the GT cars, all that stuff, we hope makes it into our production cars. Ford's been really good with it with the Mustang stuff. Chevy's been pretty good with it with the. They were good with it with the C7 stuff. The C8s is a very slow. It used to be a nice stream. Now it's kind of like a dribble, like an eyedropper. So it's taking a little bit more. But also with larger corporations, you have to go through more accountants, and that takes longer. And you'll see stuff from Lamborghini or Aston Martin or McLaren get put into production vehicles much quicker. So that's what's cool is when you go to Daytona, you see the latest, greatest, coolest, most awesome shit. And then you're like, I hope they put this in the new 720S. I hope they put this in the new, road going Valkyrie. Whatever it is, you get the first shot at it, which is cool. And that's one of the other fun things about going to Daytona is you get to see the latest and greatest and the coolest shit out there. So for road course stuff, same thing. I guess at Indy you get a lot of technology too. A lot of that is Indy is a lot of short track stuff. Daytona and Sebring is a lot of endurance stuff. So, and then the other cool part, and this is sort of way in the background, but is the safety gear, the suits, the helmets, the Hans devices, all that stuff. Seeing what those guys are using and how they're incorporating it into their cars and all of that. That for me, that's a very cool part. So I get to see, the coolest new suits, the coolest new shoes, the Hans devices, the helmets they're using, the wireless systems they're using. So that's cool. I like those. I like checking out all of that stuff, all of that detailed stuff. So what else we got as a comment here? The Adam, yeah. Like I said, tomorrow night, I know I now have butt prints all over the car. That's all right because we're going to clean the car. So, like I said, I'm going to do this as a before, and then you guys can see it after, and you can let me know if the car looks a lot better. Thursday morning, we'll load up on the trailer. We're heading out Thursday night. We being me, I'm here with all my friends. See all my friends? These are all my friends. I'm going to load up on the trailer. I'm going to pick up my friend, or actually either Berger or we're going to pick up Chris in Orlando. Then we'll be at Daytona until Sunday. So if you guys are in the area, definitely stop by and say hi. If you're going to the race, shoot me a text or shoot me an email. We'll hook up at the race and we'll go grab a burger or some kind of crappy food at the concession stand. And then, Thursday night, I will be at the Haggerty VIP party with the Viper. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be at Daytona track itself. So yeah, if you're there, hook up. And I will try to go live here on the channel from Daytona. If I can do it more than once, the problem is if I'm standing there, I always have some guy picking his nose or doing, in the background when I'm trying to do a live stream, and I don't want to do that. I want to, get you guys decent stuff. So I'll try and do it when I get some space and there's not a bunch of ding dongs in there, and get you updates from the race. And if I can, I'll show you guys cool stuff. If we can get into McLaren, if we can get into Mustang or Multimatic, or if we can get into any of the other stuff, I'll I'll try and live stream from there. I'll take the gimbal with me, and we'll see what we can do. So hopefully you guys will join me for this. And I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. There's been a bunch in the last week or so. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. I don't get paid for any of this, and I'm doing this because I love teaching you guys and I love learning at the same time. So I'm glad you guys are getting stuff out of this, especially like with the limo build and the Ultima build and going racing and doing all that fun stuff. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, and definitely tell a friend about it. And we'll keep doing this. So probably no live stream on Thursday night because it is a private event, and I don't think they really appreciate that. But I'll try and get one to you guys from the Historics on Friday. If I can get, everyone loves the 787B, right? And if I can get, any of the K3s, the 935 K3s, I'll try and get that stuff, or that BMW M1. I think it was a Pro Car M1. I'll try and get that too. But yeah, so I'll try and get you guys stuff on Friday. If not, I'll catch you during the race, and we might do like a super late 2 o'clock in the morning one. And if you're here with me, cool. If not, then you can watch it later on. So I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight, and we'll do it again tomorrow night. We'll have a nice clean Viper, and you guys can give me, hey, that looks great, or maybe you should try a little harder next time. You guys can tell me which way you think. But that's about it. So yeah, thank you again for hanging out. Don't forget to show someone that you love them. Give them a kiss on the cheek, give them a kiss on the tip of their nose, hold their hand, give it a squeeze. It is really important for them, but it's far more important for you. Cool? All right, thanks everyone. We will catch you tomorrow. You guys got to tell me that my hair looks like hell. Why don't you guys tell me this stuff? Yeah, one of these days I'll not have a black race car.